All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division as we have a sparring partner for Jesus Ramos. Talking about Jaron Ennis and what will take place in a fight between the two. Man, let's talk about that. And just I'm praying for Jaron Ennis. This guy can absolutely do no right in the eyes of so many people, despite the fact that he is so tremendously talented. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the 154-pound division where former unified champion Jaron Ennis is set to make a return in against, I can't remember the name of the guy, but it is going to be, I do believe, in Philadelphia. The fight has been announced, and it's not necessarily a fight that people wanted. And in the middle of this conversation about who Jaron Ennis was going to fight, the name Sanchez came up. Ramos came up. The name Ramos came up. And it was a debacle because there's two Ramos brothers, or two Ramoses. There's Abel Ramos, who is a professional fighter at 147, and his nephew, Jesus Ramos, who is a PBC fighter who fights at 154 pounds. Jesus Ramos is could definitely be described as a beast. Of all of the guys that people talk about at 154 pounds, not a lot of people talk about Jesus Ramos. And the reason is, I do believe, is because Jesus Ramos had a loss. I think it was a very close loss. I was going for Erickson Lubin. When Erickson Lubin got that decision, to be honest, I was quite surprised that Erickson Lubin got that decision over Jesus Ramos. I think Jesus Ramos won that fight. But however, Jesus Ramos is a pressure fighter. He is a big puncher, aggressive behind the jab in a large 154 pounder. He's not as big as like a Sebastian Fundora, but definitely somebody that would give problems to guys like Virgil Ortiz. I would love to see Jesus Ramos fight Virgil Ortiz. Love to see Jesus Ramos fight guys like Mad Maroff or Boyachuk or any of these other guys at 154 pounds. I really do believe that Jesus Ramos is somebody that was going to can give you very good work, and more than likely is the type of guy that can beat you, especially if you're not really on top of your game. So it didn't surprise me that Eddie Hearn would not send an offer for a fight with Jesus Ramos, that he would send it to Abel Ramos instead. Now, that, however, is going to makes Jaron Ennis look bad. And I don't think it's because of Jaron Ennis. I think it's because of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn looks to me to be doing this thing where he's trying to avoid anybody for Jaron Ennis that may cause him problems, because he's trying to work to get a return on his investment or something. But when you have interviews that go on, and I don't recall the name of the particular sparring partner, that person that has sparred both Jesus Ramos and Jaron Ennis, that particular sparring partner was like, oh yeah, I would take Jesus Ramos over Jaron Ennis. Now for me, I can't see that any way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't see that. I see Jesus Ramos getting beaten up and stopped by Jaron Ennis. To be honest, that's how I see the fight taking place. But as as his name gets tied up in nonsense because of the actions of Eddie Hearn, you're going to have people that are going to start believing that story about Jaron Ennis, believing that he's somehow a phony, that if you matchmake him correctly can look really, really good. But if you throw a ringer at him, then, he's not going to know what to do or what have you. It's just, and there's such a big social media push against Jaron Ennis that I just am very, very, very stern on the fact that Eddie Hearn should not be doing the things that he's doing. At this point in time, Eddie Hearn should make the fight with Jesus Ramos. He should actually make the fight with Jesus Ramos. Jesus Ramos and Jaron Ennis is going to be an explosive fight. It's not going to be a fight like Jaron Ennis and Karen Kukadajian. That fight is going to look a lot more like Amanda Stanionis versus Jaron Ennis, because Jesus Ramos is not going to be going anywhere. He's not going to be running. He's not moving around. He's not going to be fighting on the back foot, skirting side to side, making Jaron Ennis try to have to find him. Jaron Ennis is going to be able to be against a guy like Jesus Ramos. He's going to be able to be the counterpuncher that he is. Now, Jaron he can take the lead and he can counterpunch, but a guy like Jesus Ramos is going to be tailor-made for Jaron Ennis to look spectacular. And that would be right on the back of him looking absolutely spectacular against Amanda Stanionis. So to me, Jaron Ennis at this point in time, I'm not going to go so far as to say that he's mismanaged. I don't think that he's mismanaged. I just think he's mispromoted. I think that you have a guy in Eddie Hearn who is used to doing these tricks in the media that he could get over on, and he got over on for years and years and years. But after a certain period of time, man, it just becomes, your tactics become trite, they become trope. And by that means, when that Eddie Hearn makes an offer to somebody, that he's not serious about the offer, that he'll say, yeah, okay, we're going to offer Jesus Ramos, we're going to offer Abel Ramos $100,000 for the fight. And they're like, whoa, hold on. First of all, why are you asking Abel Ramos? Why aren't you asking Jesus Ramos? And why in the world are you offering them that amount of money for a fight with Jaron Ennis? Jaron Ennis is somebody that is a very dangerous fighter, and you know full well you can get sidelined or seriously hurt by the guy. So why would you even jump out there and take a risk for your health for something that you could get if you fight maybe one or two other guys for? So people are starting to recognize that. That is just what Eddie Hearn does. Eddie Hearn is going to try to set the other guy up for a duck. He's going to try to say, I made him an offer and this offer got turned down, just like he did with Deontay Wilder and saying what he had offered. He offered Deontay Wilder more money than he'd ever made in his career before. Yeah, but you're not offering what the fight is worth. Okay, so you're trying to get over on him and he's not going to accept that. So then you get to walk away and say, see, I wasn't the bad guy. They're the bad guy. They're the ones that dropped these. They're the ones that dropped the ball. We didn't drop the ball. No, you guys dropped the ball, and it's starting to show in the attitudes that people are having about Jaron Ennis. Me, I am going to make sure that I differentiate between Eddie Hearn and Jaron Ennis, the fighter. For me, there's no doubt in my mind that Jaron Ennis is an absolutely terrific fighter and would have no problem getting in the ring with anybody at 154. But it's not going to look like that as long as Eddie Hearn plays little dishonest games. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comments section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.